Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about our second method of push-up progression. This method comes from us from JP over at Gambate Fitness. JP is a world-class triathlete. I think he was top 10 back when there were still triathletes happening around the world. And Ironman triathlete, not the short ones, the long ones, the 26-mile run, the 112-mile bike, and the 2-mile swim. That guy. So I stole this method from him, 100% from him. Go hang out at Gambate Fitness. These guys are crazy endurance athletes. This was a method that I stole from him, 2 or 3 years ago, when he was using this method to do 900 push-ups a day in 30 minutes. You do not start there. That is not where you start. You start at the bottom. This method uses 3 sets of push-ups throughout the day, every day, because crazy endurance athletes. Each set is 10 minutes long. It is an EMOM, every minute on the minute. And you would start with a low number. You would test your max and you would do, once again, probably 40 or 50% of that max, depending on who you are. You could do 60%, but it starts to fall apart and get real hard down here somewhere. The point of this method is that there are big breaks between the sets. So you wake up in the morning, you do 10-minute EMOM. At noon, you do another 10-minute EMOM. And at night, sometime before you go to bed, doesn't matter, you do another 10-minute EMOM. You would take your number, probably say 40 or 50%. If you've run method 1, then you would already have fairly decent numbers. So the point of doing it with morning, noon, and night is that there is recovery in between the sets, so that you can push a little bit harder and your numbers can be even bigger. It also just breaks it up throughout the day, so you don't have to do 30 minutes of push-ups in the morning or directly before your other workout. This allows you to Tetris these sets around your other workouts. And JP over at Gambate Fitness is, running and cycling and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff all day, every day. So this method works really well for him. Pick your number and you do the same number for the whole week. So let's say you were doing 5 push-ups. You would do 10 sets of 5 in the morning in 10 minutes, 10 sets of 5 at noon in 10 minutes, 10 sets of 5 in the evening in 10 minutes, and you would do it 5-6 days a week. And then next week you would add a rep. You would go up to 10 sets of 6, 3 times a day. JP ran this up above sets of 30. But think about that. He started somewhere at a low number and you add 1 rep a week. You can predict when you're going to get to your specific volume. It gets pretty dicey when you get above 20 reps, or it does for me anyway. So if you wanted to get to 30 total sets of 30 and you started at 5 reps, you would need 25 weeks. So you can plan where you want to be when you want to be there very precisely. This does require you to already be fairly good at push-ups, or your numbers could start all the way down at 10 sets of 1. But push-ups are very much related to core strength and your ability to hold that position for a long period of time. Doing 10 sets of 30 really reduces your break over time, right? 5 push-ups doesn't take that much time, so you have a lot of break. Because it's an EMOM, when you go to 6, you get slightly less break, or you get slightly better at push-ups. Classic methods here, methods that I really enjoy, forcing you to either get better or have less rest. Usually, people choose to get better, they choose to get faster, they choose to get more precise technique. I would recommend you run our Method 1 in our previous push-up program video first if you are new to push-ups. If you are already an athlete who has a lot of experience with push-ups, then you can go right into Method 2. I find usually people are not being totally truthful with themselves and they are not very good at push-ups. So usually I push people into Method 1 first, because it can all happen in a controlled time period, and the longer time period will force you to make more adaptations to getting better at something. There's slightly different psychological tricks that are running with these two things, which have slightly different effects on the body. Usually method 2 is for people who are already pretty strong and pretty athletic and have extremely good core control and strong glutes. Push-ups, being really good at push-ups can very much depend on how strong your glutes are, because that determines how strong your lower back can be, and that determines how hard you can fire your core. Your abs should be on the entire time. When you're doing push-ups in a program like this with the specific intent to get better at push-ups themselves, then it's all based on how strong your core contraction can be. And usually this falls apart when the core falls apart. But I prefer that you keep your technique. If you do set 1 and set 2 and you have perfect technique, and on set 3 you start to fall apart, don't push through. Stop. And then the next day, get a little bit further and hold for one more set of perfect technique until you get to your 30 total sets in the day. Anywhere you fall apart, if you're falling apart in set 1, this is not the method for you. In conclusion, be good at push-ups probably before you start this. Add 1 rep per week. Do this 5 to 6 days per week. This is a lot of training. This is meant for strength, endurance, and holding proper technique. When you fall apart, you're done. If you're falling apart in set 2 at noon, you're done. You need to find a different method, or you need to lower your numbers down lower. If you can't hold your technique in set 2, then you need to start shaving off reps off of your total until you can hold form all the way through. The point is to hold the form. Of course, thank you to JP over at Gambate Fitness. Brilliant training. I can't take credit for this. I stole this.